You taking a bath? You taking a sun bath? You can't even see. This is my parents' Murphy. He's 16 years old. I come over about 2 or 3 times a week and we go outside. And today he has found the sunniest spot and decided to settle down and take a bath. Bowie. Murphy and Camus, Camus we just lost in December, but Murphy and Camus, growing up, didn't go outside, and he would escape sometimes, or I would let him out on our patio, and he was a wild man outside, would run, go into the neighbors' yards. I mean, he was the kind of cat that was scary to have outside, but now he's more subdued and doesn't travel as far. He does still have his little burst of energy, but he stays in the yard, which is nice. But today when I came over, he was already kind of sleepy. He'd been sleeping in my mom's closet, so I went ahead and just took him out. Beau. So then that makes him like less, you know, kind of crazy man outside. As far as health-wise, he's doing okay. He has some GI disease, and he also has seizures, unfortunately. He takes cannabis for the seizures. We just started him on a Chinese medicine for it. He's had seizures ever since he was 6, as far as we know. My mom's the only one that's ever seen 2 full-fledged seizures, and I actually have videos of them. I'm not sure if they're uploaded to my YouTube channel, but they're on private, and I'm not sure if I want to ever publish those, but I might. We're not really sure what causes them, and I actually just ordered a diffuser, an essential oils diffuser. So the cannabis that he's on is from Canna Companion. It's a vet-owned cannabis company, and I've been consulting with her a lot because that helps with neurological stuff cannabis does. And so she said there's also an essential oil that will help with the seizures, and so I've just ordered that we're gonna diffuse. I'm not a big diffusing person per se, so I don't know how that's gonna go, but if I see something that really works, then that's what we'll go for. So Beau is on Prednisolone every other day for his GI stuff. He was on a chemo pill, but we switched veterinarians and she's taken him off of that, which I'm really grateful for. And I haven't seen a change in him one way or the other, so I don't think he needed to be on the chemo pill. The chemo pill was because he had inflammation in his GI tract, and the only way to know if that inflammation was cancer causing was to do a surgical biopsy. And that was offered to us when he was 15, and the veterinarian he was going to said, you know, this looks like it could be lymphoma, and we have a clinic cat that's on it now that has lymphoma and is on this chemo prednisolone combo, and she's doing well. So she's like 3 years in and still doing fine. And I was like, yeah, I don't think we need to put a 15-year-old cat through surgery. And so we didn't. And anyway, when we switched to the new veterinarian because of everything that happened with Camus and his renal disease, she's the one that took him off that. And then she also took him off of, he was on Serenia, which is an anti-nausea pill. He was on Prednisolone, which is also an anti-nausea pill, but used more with chemo, I think. And then the Prednisolone, yeah. So prednisone isn't as safe for cats, so that's why cats are put on Prednisolone. And anyway, he's on that every other day. He gets an omega-3 pill 3 times a week. He gets his cannabis pill, and then he gets his Chinese herb pill. So the cannabis and the Chinese herbs are for the seizures, but the cannabis is really for overall systematic stuff. Oh, and he also just went through a round of fecal pills because of his GI stuff. We wanted to see if that would make a difference for him. Bowie. His kidney values though are good. Yay! Don't have to worry about that. Yay, Bowie. Right, Bobo? They're talking about you now? See, you always just used to talk about Camus. I know, baby boo. Sweet Bowie. Sweet Bowie. Bowie, ready to go inside? Speaking of pills, he hasn't had his pills today, and I get kind of anxious that he hasn't had them because it's almost 12:30, and the reason I get anxious is because I don't want a seizure. Do not want a seizure. So my mom says that, you know, I've seen the videos obviously because I have them on my channel, and she's taken them, but she says as he comes out of it, he's like, you know, really wobbly and kind of disoriented, like he doesn't know what happened or why he got there or what he's been through, but he comes to pretty fast. So that's nice. Bowie, you can't see anything because it's so bright. It's a great spot though for us to be in. Look how red your ears look. Ooh, you got dirty ears. You gotta get those taken care of, boo-boo. Yeah, Bowie. I know. I actually, so this is from his ultrasound, like all this hair that's missing is from his ultrasound. You know, when they were looking for the GI disease and stuff, and it's never grown back. I mean, I thought, like, he grew these chops, see these extra chops that he has on the side of his face? He grew those, I think because of the chemo pill, but he's kind of lost them, like on one side, but not on the other. And the, on his, I really thought that his belly hair would grow back as soon as he got off that chemo pill, but it hasn't. He's probably been off that chemo pill, oh gosh, at least 2 months, maybe 3 months. I'd have to ask my mom. Oh, and he gets acupuncture once a month too. Dr. Sally, who we go to, State Line Animal Hospital in Kansas, or sorry, it's in Leawood, Kansas, but it's right on State Line Road. So Kansas City, Missouri is on one side and Leawood, Kansas is on the other. She's right behind Gates Barbecue if you're in Kansas City and wondering. She always says like less is better. So it sounds like he's on a crap load of things, but I'm the one that pushed the omega-3. So that's why he's on that one. But she was in total agreement with it. I know, Bowie. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about your Sabo? Say Bobo. And then the cannabis also for overall systematic stuff. Beau. My Beau. The reason that we got Beau is because I had asked my mom if we could get another cat. And I always wanted a seal mitted with a blaze because the first ragdoll cat that I ever met was a seal mitted with a blaze. His name was Halston, and he was my aunt's cat, and I was 6 years old. And so ever since knowing Halston, being with Halston, Halston was such a cool cat. Such a cool cat. He would kiss you, so you could put your cheek right up to him, right up to his, you know, mouth and be like, give me kisses, and he'd kiss you. And I remember as a little girl, like, I never knew a cat's tongue was so rough because we just had dogs. And so I obviously knew what a dog's tongue felt like. And he was just so cool. And that's what made me want a cat, want a ragdoll. And so I begged and begged and begged, and my parents said, no, Jenny, no, we don't want to have a cat. No, Jenny. And then I came to find out later on that my dad had told my mom that when they got married, you can have as many dogs as you want, but I never want any cats. He had had really bad feline experiences where, you know, cats are nasty and biting and growling and stuff. So I continued to beg for a cat, obviously. Look at what I do now. And finally my mom had her parents gift me my first cat so that my dad couldn't say anything. And that's how I got Skittles at the age of 8. And then unfortunately Skittles died. Oh, well, this is perfect, Beau. We're about ready to end. So you're gonna end where we started off. Skittles died at 2 years old of FIP, and that was pretty traumatic and horrible. And then we got Rags and Cosby. Rags and Cosby were half brothers from Ragnarok Cattery in California, and they came Christmas of 1989. And Cosby died at 10 months old of FIP as well. And because Rags never succumbed to it, and never got it per se, our veterinarian at the time said he would never ever have it since he had been so highly exposed and never got it. And that was the truth, because he died at 19 and a half. And Rags was the reason I founded Floppycats. So when Rags was 15, that's when we got this guy. And when I reached out to the breeder about getting him, which was Cindy at Bluegrass Rags in Kentucky, she said, you know, it would probably be a good thing if you got 2 kittens instead of 1, because 15 is old for a senior cat, and the 2 kittens will play together, and then we'll leave Rags alone. And she worried about Murphy's personality with Rags, because Murphy was so outgoing, and he is so outgoing. And she was right. Camus was such a blessing, because not only did he end up being a soul kitty of mine, trying to hold back the tears there, but also he kept Murphy occupied. He was kind to Rags. Murphy was kind of a D-head to Rags, but that's all right. I mean, he challenged him, you know, wanting to be the dominant cat. I never allowed it to happen. I always told Murphy that, you know, he would be the dominant cat when Rags passed, and so he was. And he's still the dominant cat. Like, when my cats are around, Charlie wants to be the dominant cat, and I won't allow it. So, Beau's in charge. Well, there you go. Beau, everybody's seeing my shadows. What was that, Bobo? Should we go inside, Bobo? Let's go inside. All right, guys, hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.